basement. So I want to talk for a few minutes today about a quick shop hack. A Dremel tool is a really handy thing. 30,000 RPM of whatever spinning bit. There's a couple problems with Dremel tools. One, they're just outrageously expensive for what you're getting. They really ought to be 15, 20 bucks is what they ought to be. And of course they are 35, 45, whatever. And secondly, it takes too long to change bits in a Dremel tool. So I have a quick little shop hack to show you today that addresses both those problems and can really open up the world of Dremel tools. The first is that I have found that Amazon is the best place to get Dremel tools. Cheaper than eBay, cheaper than Banggood, cheaper than AliExpress. Amazon has, at least in the States, this Wen brand rotary tool shipped to your door with 100 pieces of various, bits for it, for something like $15, $16. In fact, this one I got for, I think, $11. It was on special that day. But even when I bought the special, I saw that the regular price was only $15 or $16. And I said to myself, if that's a quality tool, then that is a real bargain. And as it turns out, it is a quality tool. It's more or less the same manufacturer as whatever other store brand. I don't know if it's identical to the actual Dremel brand name. I doubt that it is, but I can tell you that it fits regular Dremel accessories. The collar here in the front comes off, and it fits a regular rotary shaft that you'd purchase for whatever brand of rotary tool. I have actually 3 of these, and one of them I have around the corner. I have the extended shaft on. Secondly, addressing the bit changing. So one thing you can go get on eBay for not more than $4 or $5 is a regular kind of a Jacobs screw chuck for the Dremel. This one is well used and abused. Here's one that hasn't been used yet. It screws on to the shaft of the tool, and then as you tighten it up, the 3 arms come in and clamp on whatever it is that you want to use, just like in a Jacobs chuck. They're inexpensive. They're not amazing quality, but at $2 or $3 a piece, I keep 3 or 4 of them around. And a Dremel would be almost useless to me were it not for this quick way to change the bits. Secondly, the reason that it's important to be able to change bits with a great deal of variability in the shank size is because one of the tools that I use in the shop all the time is a high-speed dental drill or mill bit. These are intended to go into a dental drill, which I have over there on the counter, and I've sometimes used it. But then I realized that with the Jacobs style chuck in the Dremel, there is no reason that I cannot mount this quickly and easily into my Dremel tool. So these little dental bits are solid carbide. They're generally set up to be kind of a milling cutter, but they will cut straight in. And being solid carbide, they will cut almost any kind of steel, any grade of bolt, up to and including a high carbon drywall screw. In fact, I have a little video of myself drilling a hole down through the head of a high carbon drywall screw. As you can see, the drywall screw is kind of fighting me here. The bit doesn't want to make it through. But eventually, we get penetration all the way through. It's a nice clean hole. Yes. And the bit survived. Even though there was kind of a violent push through there at the end, the bit did survive. These bits are dirt cheap. Something like 10 of them for $3 or $4 delivered to your door. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that the bit I'm actually using came from my dentist. I was at the dentist. He was doing some drilling. I said, "Hey doc, what are you going to do with those bits when you're done?" He said, "Throw them away. They're not sterile." I said, "Would you mind if I took some with me?" He said, "Sure." And they sent me home with a dozen of them. They've been used a little bit on a single tooth or so, and I can't see any evidence of dulling at all. Of course, they're not sterile, so I try to not put them in my mouth. But for using around the shop, they're awesome. So just a quick tip. Get your rotary tool from Amazon. Put a Jacob style chuck in all of your rotary tools. And thirdly, don't forget solid carbide mills and drill bits that are sold as a high-speed dental bit that you can chuck up into your rotary tool. They cut surprisingly well. They're inexpensive and will cut almost anything. If I had a situation of a broken off stud where I would have to consider doing EDM, you can bet that before I do that, I'm going to see if 20 or 30 minutes, some patience with 2 or 3 of these carbide bits isn't going to go ahead and either eat away the stud altogether or carve out a square or a hexagon shank into the stud to where I can get a tool in there and get a hold of it. Maybe carve out a flat and put a big flathead screwdriver in it. And of course, with this kind of speed and this kind of hard object, you'll want to be wearing safety glasses. Not just regular person glasses. I recently had an event where I got something in my eye. Wearing these glasses, it bounced off my cheek and went up and sliced my cornea. No, you want to be wearing full safety glasses when you're doing any kind of work like this. And hey, thanks for watching.